right, welcome back in. Radio Row, Super Bowl 52 inside the Mall of America. Now joining us live on Radio Row is former Green Bay Packers tight end, a Super Bowl champion, now working with PureSportsRecovery.com. He's currently in treatment at Pure Sports Recovery, which has resulted in successfully reducing his symptoms related to CTE and increasing his brain function, and that's Jermichael Finley. Jermichael, how are you, my man?
Hey, how you doing, buddy? I'm doing awesome, man. Just enjoying old Meteor Row.
Right? You've been walking around here, I feel like, since 8 a.m. I've seen you.
Yeah, dead serious.
You got to be tired out.
Yeah, I'm tired out. Now, what time? Oh, my God. I done worked a shift over here. Yeah, man. But it's awesome, man. Just getting, you know what I mean, just trying to help guys get healthy and, you know what I mean, doing the right thing.
Now, a big reason I like coming to this event is because we get to see former players.
Yeah.
And I like to see how they're doing. And we've heard some pretty impactful stories. So first off, how are you feeling post your playing career?
I'm feeling good. Of course, I had trouble leading out with a little depression, a little anxiety, all of the above that goes on with that stuff. And now, man, I had when I first came out, I had 44% of my brain function dysfunctional. Just imagine. I cut half your brain out your head and tell you to, like, go out here in this life and try to figure it out. You know what I mean? It's hard. It's tough. And I had to do that, and now I'm feeling better than ever down, man. I really can't complain.
Do you have any regrets? If you could go back and still play football, would you still play football?
Yes, I would. I don't have any regrets whatsoever. Life is great. And, man, I'm going to let my kids play.
What advice would you give to players playing right now? Because when you're playing, you're caught up in the moment, and you're not necessarily thinking about after the career. But that's a big thing that I hear from a lot of former players is you got to think about this stuff now while you're playing.
It's a must you do, and that's what I did, man. I focused on what I can, and when I was in the game, I was really oblivious to what was really going on until after the game I throttled down and sat back and saw what was really going on with my brain. And when they told me, I just bust out in tears just because of it's like you're just soaked in this game that really doesn't care about you, as to be real.
What can the league do to care about you?
Like, that's like, you see all these guys, these post-NFL guys, like, struggling. Like, let's not give them so much flack about things that you know what I mean, that you see that these guys struggle with. Some of them dementia, some of them with, you know what I mean, that can't freaking walk. You know what I mean? Like, come on now.
Did you see the movie Concussion?
Yeah, I saw a little of it. I didn't really get all the way through it because it was ridiculous.
It's tough to watch, right?
It's tough.
And I have to imagine when you're seeing, and I know not everything is 100% accurate in a movie,
right?
But the general gist of it was pretty spot on.
It was spot on.
It must be tough to watch that, to see how much it was ignored for so many years.
Yeah, it's been ignored for so many years, and it's just so crazy how guys that in the NFL that don't listen, that embrace like this game of guys, you know what I mean, busting their head open every single Sunday. You know what I mean? So it's insane to me that they don't do more for guys current and guys that's after the lead also.
Tell me about Pure Sports Recovery.
Pure Sports Recovery, it's a place where I went to go get my brain reset, and now they do, it's called neurofeedback. It's where you get on you set up all these sensors on your head, and they slow the fast waves down, the beta and all that stuff, and help you know what I mean, with your everyday life. And it's done help me tremendously, man. I can't say it enough.
A big story going into this game is Gronk with his concussion. I would assume he's going to play in this game, but being in that concussion protocol, explain that process in order to get cleared for Sunday.
But and the thing is that you don't really focus on that. You don't really think about the things that goes on during the game. You just want to get back on the field. But when Gronk's done with the game and he gets 10 years out the game, I think it's time for him to hang it up. He's at his conclusion of his career.
That young, just because of how many injuries he's already suffered.
Got elbow, knee, he got it all the way down. And tell me, like, this guy won't be hurt in 10 years down the road.
How tough of that decision is that? Because if you're him, you're still young. You still have a room to make a lot of money in this league. But you're right. In 10 years, and I know Gronk's been very kind to me in my career. He's come on the show before. And you worry for a guy like that every year you're worrying about his health.
Every single year. And the thing is that they throw that white envelope in your locker. and that's that check. And guess what you're going to say? I'm going to do the same shit next week. That's being real. Let's be honest. And that's what gets you lost in the NFL is them checks.
Talking to Jermichael Finley right now on Radio Row. Moving to this game, we talk about Gronk. You look at the Eagles with Zach Ertz. Trey Burton's also a very underrated tight end as well. Break down the tight end matchup for me.
If you want to go tight end matchup, I'm taking the Eagles. But at the end of the day, the New England Patriots have been there. They've been to this bowl game, and they know what to do. And if Gronk stays in the game, it's going to be a blowout. But if the Eagles smart, I would say it's knock the shit out of Gronk and get him out of this game because you got to know his head is still soft. He is not healthy. He won't be healthy.
Now, I was talking to one of your former teammates, James Jones, last week, and we were talking about the underdog card because when you guys were in the postseason, you were a 6 seed.
Yeah.
And you guys went the entire way. You beat Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
How much did you guys embrace that underdog card during that run?
I embraced it just because you got to know, like, if you undercard, you got time to get acclimated to the playoffs and do all the things you can. It's pretty neat.
Now, the way the Eagles have embraced it with the dog mask, it's actually pretty fun to see it.
I like that.
Yeah, right? It's fun because some guys will say, oh, I don't pay attention to the Vegas spreads and everything.
Come on now.
But everyone knows now Twitter, Facebook,
Blowing
Instagram, you see everything. You have someone tweeting you every day, I hate your guts, blah, blah, blah. You stink. You're going to be a nobody. And these guys, they read it. You can't read everyone, but you do read it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what the fans do. That's what the fans don't know. Like, you got guys struggling with issues. Like, you don't know how this guy's going to react to what you say to him. So why do you do that? This is a guy that's a gladiator that done this for you. You know what I mean? For him and for all the fans. So why would you give him flack on? And
the toughest part is trying to ignore it because even on the radio, smaller stage than being an NFL player, I get it.
Yes.
But I can't tell you how many people with 5 followers or the egg faces will tweet me, and it's about the little inane things that they tweet you about, and it could drive a person nuts.
Drive you nuts. I'm like, why? Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm over here working. Like, what are you doing? Sit in front of a computer?
Right? In your mother's basement, probably eating a bagel and some cream cheese or something?
Yeah, like rolling up a joint or some shit. Like, seriously, let's be real.
You're exactly right. Talking to Jermichael Finley on Radio Row. This game, what do you think it comes down to?
It comes down to guys. Good question. It comes down to poise. You got to be able to, like, embrace this moment, but leave it back, because this is a game where you're going to need it. You're going to need every single bit of that grit and that fight, and I think Belichick is the one to do that.
How much does experience matter in this game?
All experience. It ain't nothing else. We all know everybody can play football, but at the end of the day, if you've seen lights flashing, the cameras, every media outlet in the world there, just imagine how it is on that field. It's a lot of nervousness, and I don't think Tom Brady have one bit of it ever.
Last night was media night, and you know that's a zoo.
That's a zoo.
It's a complete zoo. What do you remember about your media night when you were in the Super Bowl with the Packers?
Just tons of questions about irrelevant things not about the Super Bowl, and that's the thing. You gotta blur it out, and you gotta keep it about football, and that's the thing that I remember for sure.
The Eagles all year long, and I know it's a next man up approach in this league, and no one's going to feel sorry when there's an injury. You got to move on. You got to play. That's what people look at. People want to win. That's what people get paid to do, is to win in this league. The Eagles and the Patriots, both of these teams this year have suffered an enormous amount of injuries. The Eagles, they lose Carson, they lose Jason Peters, Jordan Hicks, Chris Maragos. We go on and on and on about the Eagles. The fact that they put Nick Foles into the game that late and they're still here, it's remarkable. It really is.
It is remarkable, and I give them all the kudos in the world, man. And I embrace everything they do. And you can't hate them. You got to love them, man. And I do. And I'm a betting man, so I'm going Patriots.
Okay, you go. Why are you going Patriots?
Because they've been there. We're
Yeah,
just talking about experience, and that's all you need in this game.
And the Eagles with Nick Foles, and also with Doug Peterson and Howie Roseman being in the Philadelphia area. These were guys that were told, you can't do this.
Can't do it.
And as a player, you know that puts a chip on your shoulder.
It does, and I think these guys are going to be pretty good at doing that. I think they're going to be good, but at the end of the day, New England will have the Lombardi Trophy.
Before we let you run, as we're talking to Jermichael Finley on Radio Row, and once again, Jermichael Finley is with PureSportsRecovery.com, doing great work with them. Aaron Rodgers, such a talented player. You know how good he is. One Super Bowl ring, and people say only one Super Bowl ring. We all know how tough it is to win one Super Bowl, but people expect him to win multiple Super Bowls. Why do you think that team hasn't been able to win more?
Oh, man, that's a good question. Just because you got to get working in free agency, and they don't do that. And now that they got a new GM, it's time to get busy and go get the big dollar guys that's going to help you win the rings.
Now, one last observation. I see you're wearing a Blue Jays hat. Is that just fashion? Because you also have very nice shoes, which I'm very annoyed because I have some nice shoes on too, and I ripped them this morning because I have big 15-size feet.
Yeah.
I ripped right through them.
You
so
can borrow
you can
my
relate.
shoes.
You 15?
14, but
okay,
you can stick
we
your
could
feet
work.
in there.
Yeah, I may rip them. I don't want to do that because those look expensive.
Yeah, don't rip my shoes.
I think you'd punch me. But are you a Blue Jays fan?
No, it's not a Blue Jays fan. It's more of a throwback. It's just a throwback. I like the throwback bib. And I just, it's a fashion statement.
You're probably one of the more stylish people here on Radio Row.
Oh, my man. Thank you, bro.
And then before we let you run, one more time, plug Pure Sports Recovery because this is the important stuff. We talk a lot about football. This is the important stuff, getting ex-athletes help.
Yes, sir, man. Go to puresportsrecovery.com, and you can get you a free scan on your brain and check out Pure. Just go to the website and check it out. It's pursports.com.
He's Jermichael Finley. We'll be back on Radio Row right after this. Thank you, Jermichael.
Thanks, man.